This is truly a small state, but a high-profile state. In fact, just yesterday, I met 3 young budding journalists, and I tell you, the young journalists are much better than senior citizens. And I asked them who's winning, and they're sort of close to the ground. The first one said, it's a sweep for the BJP. The second one said, no, AAP is winning. And the third one said, honestly, this is a fact, it's kaate ki takkar. And then they asked me who I thought is winning. I just ran from there because the only person who really knows who's winning is Dorab. So Dorab, with your deep analysis and surveys, etc., who's winning? Simple question.
I've learned over the years not to give an opinion unless it's based on a poll. I haven't done a poll. I have no opinion. I have no gut. That is the way it works.
Why do you take life so seriously? Right. Now we've got Ashutosh, Manisha, Dr. Manisha, Priyam, and Saurabh, one of the finest journalists there is in India today. And he works with Red Mike, with Sanket, and they do a great job, I must say. Thank you for coming, all 3 of you. I didn't actually have to introduce you. So you can tell us, you're the man. Who's winning? Simple, yeah?
See, my gut feeling is, and what I have seen over the years, I think that Aam Aadmi Party has a definite edge. But this is going to be a very tough election for the Aam Aadmi Party for the simple reason. And I must say that the BJP, if BJP is losing, the BJP has greatly messed up. There was no reason for BJP to lose this election, and Aam Aadmi Party was in no position to win this election 4 months back. But when Arvind Kejriwal came out of jail, he realized that the wind is blowing against him. So he did 2 things. First, he resigned from the Chief Minister's post, and secondly, he left his so-called Sheesh Mahal, that is Chief Minister Bangalore. So the moral aura which he had lost, and which was his great capital, that's why he got 67 seats and 62 seats in 2015 and 2020. He's trying to regain that moral aura. I don't know how much he has regained, but this was the best opportunity for the BJP to win. And if they are losing, it's only because of their own follies.
Sounds a bit like the Congress also. Doctor, tell us, you always tell the truth, unlike Dorab.
No, I'm a qualitative methods researcher. I don't do numbers. It's been a situation where I saw the Delhi voter on a wait and watch. They were waiting to see whether those charges that were there on Arvind Kejriwal, whether they stick or not, whether he's guilty or not. So I do see a very mature voter in Delhi. Let's also remember we are talking of Delhi where almost 73 to 75% is the underclass. It's the invisible Delhi that makes or mars the destiny of the state government. That's so important. Now, it's something that Sheila Dikshit realized by the time she was in her second innings for the runner, and she, in a sense, rejigged what was a National Social Assistance Pensions program. And I would say that that was the beginning of the first, what we call now populism, the cash dole straight to the poor people.
Or did she learn it from Jayalalitha?
Well, she was her own performing person.
Yeah, yeah.
She didn't have a charisma of the films.
Social welfare.
She had to do it on the street. She was there on the ground.
Yeah, she was remarkable.
She was hemmed in by people like Sajjan Kumar who were toughies. The Home Ministry then wasn't in her favor. It was that camp of the Congress that did not get along with her. But she was in the good books of Mrs. Gandhi, the Congress party, but she was also a people's queen. She was there in the unauthorized bastis, gullies, the National Social Assistance Program, rejigged to a reasonable and decent 1,000 rupees social pension. And I think the Aam Aadmi Party, when it took over, took that from her and expanded it to a variety of other social protection programs. Almost 55% of the state budget literally goes on social protection programs. So whoever is the incumbent has an advantage. Arvind Kejriwal was on the question mark of the people. I do think that what Ashutosh has said, getting out of the Sheesh Mahal and resigning as chief minister, but also some very clever media tricks, means that his party has re-emerged and will have the incumbent advantage as I see it now.
Now, Saurabh, you've been doing some outstanding reporting, I must say, on this election. On the ground, tough reporting. What's the mood in favor of either side right now?
I think, Doc, there's one important and basic point. In 2024 Lok Sabha election, the question was whether to keep Modi or not. Modi nahi to kaun? Yeah, Modi has done Agniveer, Modi is not thinking about youngsters, Modi is that bad, but Modi nahi to kaun? And in Delhi also I see the same thing. Arvind Kejriwal, yes, he has not, Yamuna is there, is a problem, Yamuna is still dirty, and he is not, the cleaning is not done there, his councillors are not working, yes, there are charges of liquor ghotala and all, but Arvind nahi to kaun? So this is something which I see a problem
Tina
with.
factor, what you call the Tina factor.
And BJP and Aam Aadmi Party is very smart. They have done a good survey. They know that there is no face from the BJP. They know that people vote for Modi in Lok Sabha elections, and they have a good face in Vidhan Sabha election, that is Arvind Kejriwal. So Aam Aadmi Party put out the posters. Aam Aadmi Party versus Gali Galoj Party, and from their own sources, they propped up that Ramesh Bidodi is the CM face of BJP, and we all know the reputation of Ramesh Bidodi. So they do the survey, and whatever they do, they have that backing of the data.
What is your forecast for what will happen in the elections?
मुझे ये लगता है कि हम जीतेंगे, क्योंकि लोग हमें पसंद कर रहे हैं, लोग उनको पसंद नहीं कर रहे हैं, उन्होंने गुंडागर्दी मचा रखी है। मेरी अपनी विधानसभा ले लीजिए, आतिशी की विधानसभा ले लीजिए, मनीषी की विधानसभा ले, जो गुंडागर्दी इन्होंने मचा रखी है, इतनी गंदी गुंडागर्दी, और पुलिस उसको सपोर्ट कर रही है। पीपल आर नॉट लाइकिंग इट। खुलेआम पैसे बट रहे हैं, ऐसे लग रहा है इलेक्शन कमीशन डजंट एग्जिस्ट। पैसे बट रहे हैं, जैकेट्स बट रही हैं, सोने की चेन बट रही हैं, कुछ बट रहा है, रोज सामान बट रहा है। मतलब वो उनका कैंडिडेट आता है, उसके पहले शॉल बटती हैं, ये बटता है, वो बटता है। ये चल क्या रहा है? पीपल आर नॉट लाइकिंग इट। इस दिल्ली अलग है, और दिल्ली के लोग सभ्य हैं, पढ़े लिखे लोग हैं, वो इस किस्म की राजनीति पसंद नहीं करते।
ये डिपेंड करता है कि सर्कमस्टांसेस क्या हैं। आज के सर्कमस्टांसेस में हम अगर पिछली बार 39% लेकर के भी 8 सीटें ले रहे हैं, और उससे पहले वाले इलेक्शन में 33% लेकर के हमने 32 सीटें ली 2013 में, तो हाँ जी, 15 में तीन में माशाल्लाह मैं भी उसमें था। तो मुझे खुशी होती है जब आप ये वाला सवाल करते हैं कि मुझे अपने को
ये बताइए कि इस बार बीजेपी का कोई चीफ मिनिस्टर कैंडिडेट नहीं है। Are we talking to next chief minister? Are you going to be chief minister?
नहीं, मैं तो सर ऐसा है, पार्टी डिसाइड करती है, पार्टी की लीडरशिप पर मुझे पूरा फेथ है, और हम चाहते हैं पार्टी जिसको भी, क्योंकि बीजेपी इशू है कि बीजेपी का चीफ मिनिस्टर होना चाहिए। पहली बात, उसका कारण है कि हमें चाहिए। हाँ जी,
उसका नाम V से शुरू होता
नहीं।
What is your prediction this time? How many seats will you get?
मुझे लगता है कि इस बार we are getting around 50 or more.
Last time, the Congress only got single digits, 5% in the assembly elections. What is it that you think is going to turn that around?
Since I'm standing in front of what I call the father of psychology in India, I'll make my assessment.
You can't blame him.
I know. But you make that assessment. See, what I find is 5-6% was what we got, okay? If you look at the amount of voter who would have voted for a Congress if we had been a serious competition was much more than that. Almost 8-10% of the vote that is voting for Aam Aadmi is not particularly fond of Aam Aadmi, but doesn't like the BJP. And they realize that Delhi's Congress is not a real option. And unlike many years ago, when people used to vote for their party rather than just somebody winning, they didn't mind what is called wasting their vote, but they wanted to affirm their party support. That is much less in Delhi today. So about 8-10% of our vote, I think, is with Aam Aadmi Party because they didn't find us fighting confidently. And I think about 5-6% or so was with the BJP. So if you take what is really a base vote that could come to us quite comfortably if we put up a comfortable fight, would be about 17-18%. So taking from that, if we can gain another 5-6-8%, then I think we're really in a solid frame here.
So if you have 2013 again, will you support the BJP or Aam Aadmi?
No, I don't think we'll need to support anybody. I think we'll be quite comfortable on our own.
One more important point, and it is totally based upon my ground report.
Right.
The women voters. Again, I'm going to say, and the women voters who are not visible, who are there in the Jhuggi Jhopris, the Yamuna Par voters, and who are not very visible in Delhi, they are going to be the key factor in this election. and 2100 they will get whenever they'll get. 2500 from the BJP they'll get whenever they get. But they are getting the free
That's
bus
a very
yatra.
important point.
They are
must
getting the
go to
free
that.
bus yatra. I'll just explain it with one example. There's only one urban village in Arvind Kejriwal's constituency, that is Pilanji village in New Delhi constituency. Almost 12,000 to 13,000 voters there. Very big, huge chunk of. So there are old Gujar families and they're the new people from Bihar and Uttar Pradesh. They are there and they're the voters. So I was doing the Janta poll and what. So I met a lady who works in the houses of the government officials. So I asked her that who is she going to vote for? She said that I got 1100 rupees from Pravesh Verma. So I said, you are going to go vote for BJP? Said, no, I'm not going to vote for BJP. Why? I'm getting the free bus yatra. मैंने कहा कैसे? She said that पहले क्या होता था कि I used to walk 2 kilometers to go to the place where I work, and I used to walk back 2 kilometers. By the time I was home, I used to be very tired. I had no time for my children. Now I get bus yatra free. I come back, there are marshals, and people used to tease बस
बहुत फ़ायदा है. ज़्यादातर तो लेडीज़ जो पहले मतलब वुमेंस जो थी पहले घर से बाहर भी निकलती थी और अब तो निकल भी पाती है जो बस फ्री की वजह से.
पहले लोग इतना जॉब नहीं कर पाते थे, खास करके लेडीज़ सब. अब बस होने की वजह से लेडीज़ सब जॉब कर सकती है.
फ़ायदे यार, कभी जेब में पैसा ना हो तो कम से कम बस से तो चले जाते हैं. लेकिन अच्छा है वैसे बस से तो लेडीज़ों के लिए काफ़ी सुविधा है बस से.
बस में अभी फीस नहीं है, हमको बहुत फ़ायदा हो रहा है अभी. बस में तो जाने के लिए अच्छा है जी, हमारे फैमिली रन करने के लिए अच्छा है.
नहीं, बस में तो सुविधा तो है क्या लेडीज़ों के लिए से इस तरह है कि थोड़ा टिकट विकट नहीं होती, जहाँ मर्जी उतर जाओ चढ़ जाओ. लेडीज़ों को लिए पैदल ज़्यादा नहीं चलना पड़ता.
हमें डेली ही निकलना पड़ता है. उसमें बस में चढ़ी जाती है, फिर आगे जाके चेंज कर लेते हैं. तो ऐसा हमारा तो भाई बेनिफिट है.
पहले तो हमें सोचना पड़ता था कि ग्रीन बस आए तो उसमें चढ़ेंगे, उसमें टिकट कम लगती है, या ऑरेंज आए उसमें चढ़ेंगे टिकट कम लगती है. लेकिन अब तो किसी में भी चढ़ जाते हैं.
Welfare measures or reveries work or not, and there have been so many examples. I'd love your opinion.
Can I just give one answer? The psephological answer. The AAP is about 15% ahead of the BJP. In the last decade, no party at one go has overturned. Not that it can't be done, but the facts suggest that a 15% lead cannot be overcome in one election. Just too tough. Now, you could do it, but you need either a great new partner who's come with you, or you got to have enormous corruption problem at the other end. But 15% is very difficult to overcome.
See, the problem with Aam Aadmi Party, it has got shifting loyalty. Like in parliament election in 2019.
I'll just back up what you're saying with some data. Have a look at this. In fact, Delhi has a dichotomy. The Delhi Assembly versus Lok Sabha elections are polar opposites. The AAP dominates the Assembly election, totally dominates, like with 55% of the vote. That's a huge domination. And the BJP 20%, 15% behind. BJP dominates the Lok Sabha election votes, 55%, while the AAP is 15, 20% behind. They just go back and forth. And in the meanwhile, what has happened to the Congress? If you have a look at the Congress, from dominance of this state, it has gone down to near zero, decimated. And it's not really considered a very major factor in this election. So what is this all about? It's most unusual to have such a large block of floating voters in Delhi. Just look at the floating voter. It's amazing. Every time there's a Lok Sabha, actually the core voter of both the parties, you can see at the bottom, orange and green, BJP and Aam Aadmi Party, core voters about the same. There's this floating vote of about 15%, 20%, that when the Lok Sabha comes, it joins they move to the BJP. Then they float when the assembly comes, they float to the Aam Aadmi Party, taking that 30% up to 50 or 55%. Then again the assembly comes, they float back to the assembly. Then the Lok Sabha comes, they float to then the assembly comes, they go back and forth. But what is amazing, such a huge floating vote of 20, 25%. That's very unusual in any state.